Okay, I'd like to welcome everyone to Town of Stellarton Council meeting March 14th, 2022, at 5:30 p.m. start time. We're in the council chambers. It's our first time back here since November. We're happy to be back in the chambers. First item is the approval of the agenda. Any changes or additions to the agenda?
Go ahead, Sue.
I would like to add under correspondence, letter C, a letter from Vita Hexo Corp. Regarding the expiry of their cannabis license.
Yeah, please.
Your Worship, I'd like to add an issue too. Town clock.
Okay. Make that number 11. Town clock. That moves open forum to 12. Next council 13, adjourn 14. If nothing else, can I have a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
I second.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Pence, second by Councillor Wand. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded, most carried unanimously. Thank you. Is there any business? The minutes are next. February 14th, 2022. They're distributed electronically. They're also part of the package. Is there any errors or omissions? Hearing none, can I have a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
Moved by Councillor Campbell, seconded by Deputy Mayor Pence. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Contrary minded, most carried unanimously. Thank you. I'll move on to number 5, reports from staff. Chief Mark Hoback, the Stellarton Police Service, is the first report. The Police Commission met last week, I believe it was, and went through this. Is there any questions or comments in the report? Hearing none, can I have a motion to approve it, please?
I move to approve the minutes.
I'll second that.
Moved by Councillor Campbell, seconded by Councillor Wand. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Contrary minded, most carried unanimously. Thank you. 5B is the Fire Chief Mike O'Sullivan, the Fire Department's report. It's included with the package. Is there any questions on that? Can I have a motion to approve it, please?
So move, Your Worship.
I have a seconder.
I'll second.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Pence, seconded by Councillor Wand. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Contrary minded, most carried unanimously. Thank you. 5C, Paige Clark, Marketing Communications. The report's included. Is there any questions? I just wanted to mention that we're in the, thanks to the ACOA grant and our own funding, we're well on our way to the wayfinding signage that highlights the heritage districts in town. That should be the next, when the weather changes, I guess they'll probably be installed. So that'd be like the Red Row, the Heights, Valley Woods, and so on, Lords, things like that. There's a walking tour map, also part of the ACOA grant and our own funds. The walking tour map will be beneficial to tourists, also locals. It will point out points of interest, local points of interest, and have a code you can scan your phone to get some more information about them. We're hoping that'll work well with the new business in town on Main Street with trying to draw tourists in, that might be something that they might enjoy. The homecoming for 2022, we're looking at a full slate of events this year, so we're happy to say that. We're happy that I'm pleased that the NSCC social service class is working closely with 2 of our staff, Paige and Noah, to help them gain experience and also help the town take care of our own business, so that's great. Those are all my comments. Is there anything else? Can I have a motion, please, to approve?
So move.
I'll second that.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Pence, seconded by Councillor Campbell. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary minded, most carried unanimously. Thank you. 5D is Blaine Murray, Town Engineer. Reports included. Is there any questions?
The only thing I'd like to say, Your Worship, is I think that the town workers should be commended for a job well done for the snow removal, for the amount of snow that we had this winter and the quality of our streets. I would like to thank them personally.
I agree, Deputy Mayor. And the lifting of snow on 4th Street took place in a very timely manner, and it's really well appreciated by council and residents as well. I want to mention, too, that the mobile home park on Bridge, the Blue Acres, was evacuated for one night, a voluntary evacuation. That was due to a breach of the river and the flooding of that area. They were back the next morning. And I want to thank staff for installing the Canada flags along 4th Street for the Olympics and Blair Turnbull, and that she brought home the gold, so that's great. And the banners as well. On the water report, I just wanted to mention about the process change with the sand filters and the backwashes, saving us some treated water. So I wanted to thank the staff for that as well. Is there any further questions on it?
I just wanted to note, Your Worship, that residents will notice that there will be a flyer in the mailbox that was distributed today, just on the latest with the installation of water meters and how that will take place. And if they have any questions, that they can certainly call the office.
Excellent, thank you.
Your Worship, I'd approve the engineer's report as written.
I will second that.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Pence, seconded by Councillor Wand. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded, most carried unanimously. 5E is no the Laurie Active Community Living Coordinators Report. Questions on that one?
So move the report.
I'll second that.
Moved by Councillor Wand, seconded by Councillor Campbell. On the question, I just want to point out a couple of things. We are extending the deadline for our Volunteer of the Year submissions until April 15th. They were closed, I think, at the end of February. We're extending that to April 15th. Restriction-free homecoming. Community groups have once again been using our community center, so we're glad that's opened back up. Proof of vaccination no longer required. In the Heritage Mural, so we're working closely with Janet Wallace, who's the artist who was contracted to do the murals, which will be 12 different paintings in a timeline from the Mi'kmaq right up to modern day, so we're looking forward to that. And all those in favor signify by saying aye. Contrary minded, motion carried unanimously, thank you. So we'll move on to the Employee Service Awards. We're happy here today to present Garner McPherson a 5-year service award. The Mayor and the Council would like to thank you for your work. Garner's a stellar police officer, pardon the pun I guess, but a great police officer we get a lot of positive comments about. He's done a lot of good work that we know of, and I'm sure a lot of good work that we don't know, so thank you very much, Garnet.
Paul's not here, is he? Paul.
Yes, so we have a 10-year service award for Sergeant Paul Venus, who's not available this evening, but we will get that to him in a timely fashion and thank him as well. We also receive a lot of praise about Sergeant Venus as well, and we're happy that both of them are part of our police department, and we look forward to future service from them as well, so thank you to both. So we'll move on to number 6, correspondence. 6A is the AMA Model Video Conference Policy.
Yes, so the state of emergency was put in place on March 21st, 2020 by the provincial government. That is actually coming to an end March 21st, 2022. What that means is what they enabled during that state of emergency was for councils, municipalities to have virtual council meetings, but it's only during state of emergencies. Once that is lifted on the 21st, municipalities will no longer be allowed to have virtual meetings. So the AMA has just notified us that if councils wish to have video conferencing in place, that they can do a policy, and I'm just bringing that forward to council should they wish to do it. And it's not to replace in-person meetings or like storms. It is just solely you have to have notice, and you have to give notice to the public. Anyway, it just has to be done through procedural policy if council wishes to, for staff to draft a policy for their consideration.
How does council feel about the need for this policy?
Well, Your Worship, the last 2 years we lived through would pretty well answer that question, and there's no saying that it won't happen again. And there's no saying that we might not have to call an emergency meeting sometimes in the near future due to the world circumstances. So I would think it would be good to have a policy in place.
My understanding is with or without policy, you can still have emergency meetings, correct?
You can have emergency meetings, but not virtual, unless it's declared a state of emergency by the province.
So I make a motion that we go ahead with it, Your Worship.
So we're directing staff to
Draft a policy.
draft a policy, okay. We have a motion from the Deputy Mayor. Do we have a seconder?
I'll second that.
So moved by Deputy Mayor Pence, seconded by Councillor Campbell. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carries. So we'll look forward to next month and we'll have something presented. 6B, correspondence from municipality of East Hants to the NSFM.
Warden Eleanor Rolston from the municipality of East Hants wrote a letter to the president of the Nova Scotia Federation Municipalities, Mayor Amanda McDougall, asking why their member fees went up considerably. These increases for East Hants have been 41% from 2019 to 2022. So she CC'd all the members of NSFM. And just for this council's information, from 2019 to 2022, the town of Stellarton went up 12%.
Question. Does the NSFM make money on the live conferences in
That is how they raise their revenue,
yeah,
yes.
so without those conferences, their revenue would have been down.
That's correct,
So that would kind of justify a little bit the increase.
correct.
Okay, so the question then that pursues, which I think East Hants asked, is, what have you done for me lately? Which is a valid question by East Hants, and it's a valid question by all, because it is part of what the taxpayer are paying for. And I saw that there's some work being done to change the format, which seems to be a little bit promising. So I guess we'll have to live with it for a little bit before we raise any more flags. That's my suggestion.
Thank you, Councillor Wan. I never thought that would be why the revenue was down too. You're right. What's the plan for this fall? I think they're planning on having a
They are
conference.
planning to have a spring conference as well as a fall conference. I think their spring conference is at White Point,
So sure.
South Shore.
Liverpool. On the other side.
Okay, so that's just for information?
Yes.
Okay. And 6C, Vito Hexo Corp.
Yes, on March 8th, the town was notified from Vita Hexo, the owners of the cannabis plant on Acadia Avenue, the expiry of their license. This letter is to inform you that Vita Cannabis, located at 114 Acadia Avenue, Stellarton, Nova Scotia, has undergone the following change to its Health Canada cannabis license: expiry of its standard cultivation and standard processing license. So as we all know, that their operation ceased on February 28th.
Okay, thank you. And we're hopeful that there'll be a buyer in the future for the facility. It's been recently modernized and put a lot of money into it, so we're hopeful that another business will find a home there and provide some jobs and commercial taxes to us.
Our commercial tax rate went down, or the assessment went down 4.5 million due to the closure.
So it's significant for a small town like us.
Yes, very much so.
Okay, that's for information as well. We'll move on to item 7, Committee of the Whole report.
The following recommendations are for council's consideration from the Committee of the Whole meeting held on February 28th, 2022. Recommendation number 1, on recommendation of Committee of the Whole, council approve a donation of $100 to the Mariposa East Skating Center for an advertisement in their program for an event at the Pictou County Wellness Center on April 10th, 2022. And recommendation number 2, on recommendation of Committee of the Whole, council approve committing to a second term of 5 years with the Pictou County Regional Enterprise Network to March 31st, 2028.
So as mentioned, these both come from Committee of the Whole meeting 2 weeks ago, so council's discussed them in depth. Is there any further discussion? Have a motion then, please?
So move, Your Worship.
I'll second that.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Pence, seconded by Councillor Luan. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried unanimously. Thank you. Number 8, citizen appointment report.
The following is a current update on citizen representation for the town of Stellarton. The Police Commission, which has 3 citizens, Nancy Terrace has accepted a second term as per the town policy. Her second term will expire in 2025. Currently, Commissioner Kevin Mason's term expires in 2024, and he will have an opportunity if he wishes to go a second term. And right now, we have a third spot that is vacant. It is currently being advertised, and applications are due on March 31st. We also have a vacancy on the Audit Committee that has also been advertised, and applications are due on March 31st for that as well. And that's just for council's information.
Thank you. Is there any questions? Okay, thank you for the information. We'll move on to item 9, which is a resolution.
Yes, so this is for the CAO and the town engineer are looking for authority to submit application under the Investing in Canada Infrastructure Program, and in working with the town engineer, and he is looking at doing Claremont Avenue and Kirk Avenue in that priority. So we're submitting 2 applications, and the first priority being Claremont, the second being Kirk. So if you could read that resolution.
Sure. So be it resolved by the Town Council of the Town of Stellarton that the Chief Administrative Officer and Town Engineer be authorized to submit applications for projects under the Investing in Canada Infrastructure Program for the following prioritized projects for the fiscal year 2022-23. Claremont Avenue Infrastructure Renewal Project, $1,888,634, and Kirk Avenue Infrastructure Renewal Project, $1,558,393. That's good.
So move, your worship.
I second that. And on the question, how many applications have we submitted in the last couple of years, and how many were approved?
We have submitted, I think, 4, and in my time since 2018, I think we were approved for 2. We did Rundle and Allen and Victoria.
Good. Do you think we're going to be approved this time?
I'm hoping. Yeah.
I'm crossing everything.
We've been fairly successful. We've lost some and gained some, so.
Thank you.
You win some, you lose some. So that was, I believe, moved by Deputy Mayor Pence, seconded by Councillor Wan.
Correct.
So these will be part of our budget discussions this year
Correct.
as well? Okay. All those in favor, of saying aye. Contrary minded. Most carried, Nancy. Thank you. Number 10 is the reports from outside agencies. Included here is the Pictou County Solid Waste Report from our meetings and the Pictou County Wellness Center from our meetings as well. Any question on those reports? We don't need a motion for those.
No, just for information.
So we'll move on to item 11, the town clock. The Deputy Mayor want to speak on that one?
Your worship, I noticed the last while the clock isn't working. Is there a reason?
There's a reason it's not working, or I should say, the reason it's not fixed is because it's someone from New Brunswick that can come down and fix it, and
Yeah.
it's just getting them to come down and fix it.
All right. Because it's an iconic part of the town of Stellarton. As you know it's on our letterhead, and people ask, what,
All
yeah,
the time.
why isn't the clock working?
The
You know?
the face is completely wrong.
Yeah.
But it does ding on the hour, but just not the right number of chimes.
No.
No,
And-
we are,
And it does sound nice in the town.
Absolutely.
Especially summer months, people love to hear it.
I will, I'll ask the town engineer to get an update as to when he can. come
Yeah,
down.
could he get us a report for next council?
Yeah.
Thank you. And why I'm on a roll here, Susan, the floodlight on the south side of the Miners Museum has been burned out since last fall.
Okay.
And I understand in the wintertime you're not going to be able to do it, but just tell them to put it on the list to be done. That's
Miners Monument?
Yeah, Miners Monument, yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor, for bringing those to our attention. We appreciate it. Okay, item 12 is open forum. Does anyone like to speak at the open forum?
Your Worship, I do. This is my first open forum, I guess. I just want to send my thoughts to the Ukrainian people on the atrocity that's happening right now by the Russian authority. And I wish that this town or the county can do something, whether it is a symbolic by sending a letter of support, or more than that by gathering some donations or whatever, anything that we can help. As someone who has lived in war before, I can understand what they're going through, and I can understand the refugees and hiding from the bombs. So we live here, and I guess that's why I came to Canada. We live here in peace and quiet and tranquility, and sometimes we take it for granted a little bit, but we should always remember that they are our first line of defense. And if they fail, what's next? So that's my point. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Wand. Well said. I received a call, I haven't returned it yet, from Gerald Roma. He's originally from the Ukraine. He's a Stellarton resident. He's on the front page of the Advocate last week, actually. He left me a message saying the county's going to be doing something to try to secure some goods to send over. And he thought the fire department might be a good place to collect them at, but I haven't heard back from him. I don't know if I want to reach out to him, maybe. And get his contact information. Okay, thank you. Is there anything further? Want to go to the mic?
Kirk Avenue.
Both, I think.
Yeah, water and sewer. I
In-
can get you those details.
In reinstatement of the asphalt and sidewalks and things like that. Did you have something, Olivia?
I just had a general question for the clock. Is the person who built it in New Brunswick and they're the only person that can fix it?
It was built a long time ago.
There's a funny story with it, but apparently it's a very specialized skill, and the person that fixes it, he wasn't the one that built it, but he can fix it, so.
Oh, okay, so it's that specialized.
It's
What?
dying art.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah.
So to make sure we tell someone before, time goes too far, to make sure it's as successful.
Exactly. Okay, so our next meeting will be April 11th, 2022, here at the Chambers, 5:30 p.m. And that's the meeting. Can I have a motion to adjourn, please?
So move.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Meeting adjourned.